Hello. Okay. Right. Oh my God, it's always a palaver getting me on stage. So yeah, the risk assessment usually takes longer than the gig. So, honey, switch off my hazard lights. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So yeah. So I'm James Connell, as you said. So don't worry, I haven't seen you before either. So. But last time I was here, it was a few months ago, we had a fantastic crowd. I'm not saying you're not, but we had a fantastic, really, really comedy-savvy crowd. They knew what was funny. They knew what to laugh at. Fantastic. They knew stuff. They knew comedy, and we had a great night. So if you don't laugh tonight, at least I know that it's you who are doing it wrong. But you've all had a good time? You've all had a good laugh? See, that's what it's all about. You want to have a laugh. We want to give you a good time. The guys come on. They give you a good laugh. Everything's good. I've got my Superman underpants on, and I'm facing the right way for a change. So everything's falling into place. Because I tend to drift to the right when I'm on stage. Now, as a socialist, I do find that a little bit disconcerting. But I actually once drifted all the way around, and I did the second half of my set to a fire exit in a bucket of sand. To be honest, not the worst audience I've ever had, but yeah, we'll carry on. We're good because I have got what some of you would consider a disability, and others would call it an impairment, but I like to call it just what it is. I'm Scottish. No, I would say there's two Scottish people in here, isn't there? Yeah, there's a few, is there? Oh, good man. Yeah. Oh, there's going to be a fight. We're all in. Yay! Now, obviously, what I'm actually talking about is the fact that I am indeed blind. In case you didn't realise, I don't know what would give it away, but please tell me everybody else heard that. I have been completely blind now for 9 years. Well, I'm either completely blind or I'm having the world's longest blink. But on top of that, I'm also hearing impaired. But to be fair, I've only been deaf 2 years. I'm just trying that one out to see if I like it. But as long as you make some noise, I'll know I'm facing the right way. And, and you'll be doing your bit for disability awareness. And I'll be coming round later on with buckets. Not for a collection, just for the incontinent amongst you. You know who you are. Yeah. But there's a strange thing when you lose your sight. Am I facing the right way? Yeah. Good, man. Just give us a shout. If I turn around, give me a shout. Yeah, there's a strange thing that happens when you lose your sight. Everybody thinks this urban myth that all your senses get heightened. You become like a Jedi or a superhuman or something. That's not true. You just use them better, and you use technology. And I love using technology for all sorts of stuff. And one of them I love is the taxi app that we all use. You just press a button and you get a message in your phone saying, "Your taxi's outside, sir. Please look out for a red Nissan Primera," and it gives you the number plate. Excellent. I did this a few weeks ago. I phoned a taxi late at night. You don't need to know the ins and outs of it. Suffice to say, it involved a rubber glove, and a bucket of jelly. But I'll leave that to your imagination. Anyway, I had this taxi turned up, and I got out of the house. I put my hand in the handle of the door, and he drove off. And I thought, oh, that's weird. But then he came back about a minute later. I got into the taxi next to the driver, and I said, "What happened there, mate? I was just about to get in." And he said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see you." I thought, well, that's a bit ironic in itself, really, isn't it, mate? So he said, well, if you're blind, how did you know it was a taxi? I said, well, I thought I'll just play along here. I said, well, when you lose your sight, you just sense these things. He said, so it is true then. I'm showing you a taxi driver here. He said, so it is true then, you sense it. I said, oh, yeah. I said, I'll prove it to you. And I went, I said, and then I opened the window, and I rubbed the top of the roof of the car, and I licked my finger. No, I rubbed it with that finger, but I licked that finger, because I know where that one's been. So I went, so this is a Nissan Primera, isn't it? And it's about 3 years old. And it's red, isn't it? And he went, that's amazing, yeah, it is, yeah. Good, you should be on TV, you're a fucking genius. I said, mate, you should be back at school, you're obviously a fucking idiot. But believe it or not, there was a time a few years ago that I couldn't even fit in a cab. I was a big guy. About 5-6 years ago, I was 27 stone, and I have lost 13 stone. Don't applaud that. I put 3 back on. I should actually just say I lost 10. It's still just as good. But the reason that I put all that weight on is because I was addicted to food. And this is a genuine thing. I was addicted to cheese. Now, my lovely wife did some research about that. It's a genuine thing. That was my wife that let me up, by the way. That's not a groupie. She's lovely, my wife. She's absolutely gorgeous, she tells me. But luckily, my wife likes her coffee the way she likes her men, cold and bitter and full of cream. But she did some research for me, and she found out that milk has an element in it called casomorphins. Now, you can look this up, and it's addictive, but it's in milk for good reason in nature. It keeps the baby animals safe to the mother, and it keeps them safe so they know where the food is and how to stay within the herd. And it works in human babies as well. When you see a little baby getting breastfed, and you think, oh, that's a contented baby. No, that baby's smacked off its tits. Well, technically it's smacked off its mum's tits, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? And can I just say as well, there's a bit of controversy around breastfeeding. I want to say that I have no problem breastfeeding, but it does hurt my nipples a little bit. But no, I actually in the past I've tried breast milk. Not a big fan of breast milk. I love the containers, but here you go, But so I was addicted to cheese. Now cheese is 7 times more powerful than milk. It's 7 times more addictive. And I was a big lad, because I used to go to a cheese centre in Birkdale, because I live in Southport. Rock and roll. Yeah, thanks, sir. The crew are in. Yeah. And I used to go to this cheese centre, and the woman that owned it, Samantha, eventually after going 3-4 times a day, I came in and she went, no, I said, I'm cutting you off, James. No more. I went, oh, come on, just a wee bit of Wensleydale, just to see me over the weekend, come on. And she's like, no, look at the state of you, you're sweating, you're shaking. No, I'm cutting you off, mate, no more. And I'm telling all the other suppliers to cut you off. And she was right, I couldn't get anything. I landed up meeting a disgraced grocer down a dark alley. He'd been struck off by the Grocer Society for selling multi-pack beans singularly. So I met him in a start. I said, Bob, what have you got? He's got his bag of goodies. You got anything good? You got any of the good stuff? Got any brie or, any wines, got any good stuff? He said, oh, it's nothing, streets are dry, mate. He said, he's rummaging through his bag and he went, all I can get you is some mild cheddar. I mean, that's not good to me. I need, I've got a wee baby bell down there, something, just to take the edge off, I can do you some squeezed cheese. I went, okay, I'll have a line of that. He said, do you want it on a cracker? And I said, no, but bizarrely, I like my squeezed cheese in my pot noodles. And he went, well, I've got a pot noodle here for another client. You're welcome to share that. I said, hey, I might be off my face and an addict, but I do know people. You never share noodles. But obviously, did you get that? I never got that. Obviously, I lost the weight, as you can see. I lost some of it anyway. But it was bound to happen because, when I lost my sight, I couldn't find the fridge. And when I lost my hearing, I couldn't hear the pizza delivery man come to the door. But I never let it hold me back. I still work and I still volunteer for the Royal National Institute of the Blind, the RNIB. Now, I said this at a gig recently, and somebody shouted, oh, the lifeboats. No, mate, that's the RNLI. But could you imagine if I worked for the lifeboats? Say you fell overboard on your coronavirus cruise, and you're thrashing about in big waves and that, and your high visibility life jacket, flashing your light, blowing your whistle, and screaming for help at the top of your lungs. Trust me, I am the last person you want looking for you, a deaf blind guy. Mind you, I do have a heightened sense of smell, so I could probably tell you were shitting yourself waiting to be rescued. Well, thank you very much, people, for listening to me. I'll just tell you one thing. We are all different, we're all individuals, and we're all unique. Don't put people in boxes or label them unless you're returning them to Amazon. So, thank you, and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, get over James Connell!